Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
It is nice to see you this afternoon. Some of you guys are in morning, some of you guys are in evening. We've already got the chat just going. I don't know if I'm going to be able to call you all by name, so just thank you for being here. We all just heard from Adventures with a Purpose. We're going to play their press conference again if you have not already seen it. You know, it's a great day today. It's a sad day, a very, very sad sad day. You know, they found her last night or yesterday afternoon. They pulled her out, I want to say early evening. You know, it's a sad story. So what now? I mean, everything's really just now starting to happen. This is where everything can now start, you know, their investigation. Um, I would really like to wait to see the autopsy, but before we get too far, I just want to show you guys a couple clips, and then I'll open up the phone lines. We'll have open discussion, see what you guys think. You know, this is, again, just a big kudos to Adventures with Purpose for all that they do, for coming to this case. You know, I was talking to somebody and they were talking about, you know, why can't the cops find this? Why didn't the cops do this? Why, you know, they were out there searching and diving and they just couldn't find it. And yesterday, if you haven't watched yesterday's live, please go back and watch it. Placer County actually has a remote operated vehicle, and that goes underwater. And so I showed that on the live yesterday, what it was capable of. It was pretty impressive. So it's not that they don't have technology. It's not that the people aren't properly trained in that technology, but we have Adventures with Purpose that has a specialized skill set. It is something that they utilize on a daily basis as opposed to a couple times a year. They're well versed in identifying and reading that sonar because of their specialized skills. So it's not that Placer County did anything wrong. It's not that the FBI did anything wrong. It's just that these people, this Adventures with Purpose, has a specialized skill set. If this case does not show that to the world, I don't know what will. You know, she could be another cold case if it wasn't for Adventures with Purpose. Okay. If they had already searched this lake, they would not search this lake again. You see what I'm saying? If they thoroughly search this lake, they're not going to search it again. She would have been a cold case, and she's not. There's a lot of theories out there circulating about what may happen to her, and we're going to be discussing those. Again, I'm going to be opening up the phone lines. I'm going to be, you know, opening up the panel to those that would like to join in and talk about your theories. We all have different ones. So the only rules are we are to be respectful. You know, there's no right or wrong answers here today. And the reason why is because we don't know any information. So let me go ahead and let's get to this first thing. This is the video of them pulling her car out of the water. I almost want to mute it because that, there it is. There's her car. You guys can see it. It's right here with the purple buoy on it. So they're trying to get it out. It almost looks like they went out there and flipped it right side up because they said they found it flipped upside down. And we're going to discuss that as well. But it almost looks like I'm looking at the roof. I could be wrong, but I'm wondering if they flipped that. It's so blurry. No, that still looks like it's upside down. Yeah, it does still look upside down. So it looks like the you can see the axles here and here, but that could be the front. That could, I don't know. We'll have to see as it comes up. Yeah, it's upside down. Oh, this is so sad. If it's not upside down, then they flipped it underwater. Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's not upside down. Okay, well then it looks like they must have flipped it when they had it, when they started pulling it up. They must have lifted it enough that they could flip it because they found it upside down. Now it wasn't 200 feet from the party. We're gonna be going over all of this information. Just sit tight, folks. B, I think this makes us worry for all of our family members. Hey, everyone that's coming in. Please don't forget to like this video as you come in, please. We have 330 in chat. We should at least have 150 to 200 likes. Here it comes, folks. Okay, guys, it is not flipped upside down. They were able to flip it right side up before they started dragging it in. I am Team Summer. We'll be going over my theories, and we'll be going over your theories as well. Like I said, we will be opening up the chat and opening up the panel for those that want to talk about this. We're going to watch this video, and then we're going to get to Adventures with a Purpose, their press conference, and we're going to open everything up. So just sit tight, guys. You can see they're already starting to run. They're already putting screens up for people that want to have cameras from across these are screens, pop-ups for privacy. They've already got a gentleman right here with a tarp that they're going to be hanging over as this car comes up so nobody can get any photography released to the public before they have an opportunity to review everything. Betty Jo, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. We're going to go over these things. We're going to go over these things. Yeah, for all the new people in here, please don't forget to subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel. Also, don't forget to go out there and give me, as well as the mods, a thumbs up. This really helps grow our channel. Just watching this, it's just heartbreaking. It just breaks my flipping heart. Sometimes they will transport the vehicles with the people inside to preserve any evidence inside the vehicle. Sometimes they will not. So we have to find out, does anybody know whether the coroner made it out there and whether there was white sheets? Because they very well may have transported this young lady inside that car instead of trying to do everything out there. Thank you, love. Thank you, thank you. Few more minutes and then we'll start. We, just to let you know, we assume she was in the back because of the way they covered the vehicle. There are several things that can explain this. We'll go over a few again. If you guys want to stick around, we'll be opening the panel and the chat here shortly. So you guys can explain your theories. Okay, it looks like they're covering the entire vehicle. When they do this, when they uncover the entire, or they cover the entire vehicle, it typically means they're going to be transporting that vehicle with the person in it. I don't know if that's true because I did not watch the entire thing last night, but just from my experience, when they start covering the vehicle like that, especially behind black screens, they most likely had determined to transport it. But they didn't just cover the back of the vehicle, folks. We just watched them cover all of the windows of this vehicle. Every single window of this vehicle has been covered with a tarp. It is not just back windows, front windows. It's all windows. All windows have been covered with tarps over this vehicle. Curious to see what they do with this vehicle, if they're just going to load it up and strap it down and take off with it. I have a funny feeling the detectives will want to take a peek inside. So it looks like they're unchaining the vehicle. I see some people bending over as if they're looking inside of the vehicle. They're moving the black screens around. I think they're doing that because we don't realize there's other people across the lake probably taking high quality photos with telescopic lenses. So they're trying to preserve some of that photography from getting out. When I heard the backseat theory come up, I heard it on a channel, and I believe it was the American Dream Chaser channel, and they were theorizing that she was in the back seat because the way they put the tarps on it. Unless some other information came out that has been corroborated, then I'd like to see that, but I have not yet seen anything that came out that confirmed she in fact was in the back seat. I did hear where I heard it first, which I believe was on the American Dream Chaser channel, and it was alleged that it was she was potentially in the back seat due to the way they covered the vehicle, but they were covering the vehicle the way it was coming out of the water, so that may be one of the reasons as well. I don't know. I'm theorizing. I don't have information one way or the other to that effect. So let me get out of here.
Lucy Davis.
Sorry, guys.
Fire season is here.
There we go. So we're going to go ahead and get into their press conference. For those that didn't get a chance to see this press conference, and then we're going to go over some information I actually had well before this search came out. It was provided to me by Stony Stone. I should have ran with it. I didn't run with it. If you guys were watching me, remember I said that there was some photos I wanted to break, but I didn't understand where they were located on the map, and I was needing to speak to Stony Stone, and I got sidetracked and never called him back. So these were never brought forward, but they were sent to me on Tuesday. I'm telling you guys that. Stony Stone did send these to me on Tuesday, and based upon the photos that I have, it does appear that it was right about that same spot that they look. So we're going to see those. It's pretty interesting.
Debrief of our efforts searching for and finding Kiely Rodni. Anything within this video may be used by any news agency or outlet within their own news reporting. This is only an announcement and briefing. Fully edited episodes will be released soon, so please be patient. We have found Kiely Rodni's vehicle and have confirmed that there were remains inside.
An official identification of the remains will be made and announced by authorities once their investigations are complete. Please understand and respect this is a highly active investigation by the FBI and multiple local sheriff's departments, and we are limited to the scope of details we can release.
We began our search for Kiely at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10:40 a.m. We placed 2 sonar boats in the water. By 11:15 a.m., Nick detected an object underwater using cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. I was able to then confirm that it was, in fact, a vehicle in roughly 14 feet of water and only 55 feet offshore. After marking the vehicle with our magnet, Nick suited up in his dive gear and
I wanted to go back just a little bit for you guys if you didn't see it. Hold on. There it is. Right there.
feet of water and only 55 feet offshore. After marking the vehicle
55 feet
with our
offshore.
magnet, Nick suited up in his dive gear and conducted the dive to formally identify and assess the vehicle, with me running OTS comms topside. Once we confirmed it was indeed Kiely's vehicle, we immediately notified family, law enforcement, and Dad and Grandpa were on scene within minutes. Please refer to our episodes for complete search investigation that we conducted. These episodes will be released very soon. Again, this takes time to edit. We will need to put these together in an appropriate way in order to respect law enforcement as well as the family. Those should be out, I would estimate, probably within the next week or so. The Placer County Sheriff's Department, Nevada County Sheriff's Department, the entire Placer County Sheriff's Dive Team has been incredible to work with. We understand that the resource we provide with our unique skill set is rare. It is an honor to help agencies.
Again, their skill set is rare. This is not a dig at law enforcement agencies whatsoever. This is a kudos to Placer County for realizing that they cannot find this girl, and they are willing to leave, seriously, no stone left unturned to find Kiely Rodni. This is a kudos to the FBI, Placer County, and all law enforcement agencies that welcomed adventures with a purpose, or with purpose, because not all law enforcement agencies are that accommodating, period. Let's take Hawkins County for an example in the Summer Wells case, where they actually, turn away this public-private partnership with other agencies. So this is, we are so thankful that Placer County did not have an ego problem here. They just wanted to find this girl. That is kudos to them. Kudos for not having an ego problem, an arrogant problem, an I syndrome problem. That's what allowed this wonderful organization, Adventures with Purpose, come in and assist in finding. And remember, this was the lake that they did not check first because law enforcement had already checked it. Let's remember that.
And families all across the nation. We will be working together with authorities here to share this knowledge over the next couple of days. It is always our mission to promote and share the techniques we utilize so that our purpose can help as many people as possible.
We'd like to thank all of our supporters. We can't thank all of you enough for your donations and putting us in this position as we continue to grow and help more families.
And just to let you guys know, if you guys would like to make a small donation, a large donation, you can go over to adventureswithpurpose.com. They have a spot at the very top where you can donate. You can donate any amount. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that right from their website. If you would like to make monthly donations, you can also do that right from their website. Also on their YouTube channel, you can also subscribe to become a member. You can also subscribe on their website to support that website as well. So this is an amazing organization that puts people, victims, and families first. Remember, all these people that are out there looking for Kiely Rodni and these other cases that they're doing, they're taking time away from their families, their children, and their loved ones. They're sacrificing their time, for these victims and these families. So, just thank you. This is an amazing organization, and we could all, I wish everybody could be more like them.
Simply watching our episodes, liking, sharing, subscribing, and following our social media platforms enables us to do what we do. So thank you all for putting us in this position.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us help families, and it's free. It's free to subscribe. Additionally, we would like to acknowledge the incredible support from law enforcement agencies across the U.S., including the FBI. We hope to continue our efforts hand in hand with them with the upcoming cases of Jalissa Fuentes in Selma, California, and also Annette Adams in San Obispo, California, coming up later this week. At this time, I'd like to thank our entire team for making this happen. It's not just me. It's not just Nick. There's an entire team of us that are out here. We collectively go through these cases, these investigations, and it takes a team to do so. I'd like to bring you guys on camera at the moment and thank the entire team that made this entire trip possible. Carson, Cade, Kevin, Josh Cantu, Devin. This is our entire team. Like I said, it's not me, it's not Nick. You know, it takes an entire village, including you guys, that put us in this position.
Guys, let's go ahead and throw some claps up in the chat for this amazing team. This amazing team. And like I said, today is a great day. It's a very sorrowful day. It's a very sad day, but it's a very good day. It's a great day because without them, I guarantee Kiely Rodni would become a cold case. They did an amazing job. Without them, this would not be possible. I am just so thankful we have amazing organizations like this in this country. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed. Even with the outcome that happened, Kiely's family is truly blessed for organizations just like this. So just kudos. I can't thank them enough. With that being said, we also need to think of Kiely and Kiely's friends and family and say a prayer for them as well, because they are suffering some pain that, only some of the people in this chat can understand. So we just want a big shout out to her family and friends that, we're here and we love and support them and hope that they get through this terrible time.
To do this. And it's an honor because without your support, we would not be able to do what we do. So thank you guys. Thank you guys as a team. We appreciate all your hard work on the road. It's not easy. We travel across the entire nation, day after day, state after state, city after city, helping family after family and agency after agency. And it's a lot of hard work when we're out here and we're trying to do something that hasn't been done before. And thankfully, we're in the position to do so because of you guys and all of you at home.
Thanks, guys.
We will be taking the next 2 days to properly debrief, decompress, and prepare for our next case, which is 22-year-old Jalissa Fuentes in Selma, California.
Please keep the Rodni family in your thoughts and prayers as we are. Hug your loved ones a little tighter. And take the time to take time, as we never know when it will be our last opportunity to do so. I hope, as tragic as this outcome turned out to be, that this will carry on so that we are able to help the next family like we did here. Thank you.
At this point, we mentioned earlier, you guys are free to use anything that we've shown in this video in your own news reporting. We'd also like you guys to take consideration that we are fielding a lot of requests for interviews. We will process them as we do get to them. Again, we thank all of you for putting us in this position. It wouldn't be possible without you. I know we say that enough, but at the end of the day, we're just normal guys put in the position by you. Without your support, none of this would be possible. So thank you. I think maybe we have a few questions that are coming in right now. If we can field those from Jared, who's on there. We can add a few bit more of information on this before we end it. Give me a second, guys. Please be patient.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this down.
I'm always focusing on our team and our mental state, our emotional state. This is Nick's first solved case that he's been a part of. Devin, as well as Kevin. And we focus on the positive. As tragic as this is, I always drill home to these guys to focus on what we're doing. We're providing answers for families. We're helping law enforcement close cases. That's a positive thing. We can't allow ourselves as professionals as we become to get caught up in some of the other things that aren't going to benefit us to get caught up in. So we're focusing and maintaining our mental focus on the positive aspects of what it is that we do, just providing answers.
So I just want to come back to a couple things for right now. I wanted to look at some of the photos that were provided. Here they are. I'm going to try to get them up as big as possible for you guys to see. But these were given to me on Tuesday. Let me put this up here. These were given to me on Tuesday, and this appears to be a vehicle. And where this is positioned almost is right where they are pulling her vehicle out. And again, this is provided to me by Stony Stone. This is provided to me by Stony Stone, but we did have imaging, and I had it as of Tuesday, this imaging right here. Yeah, so there was some ideas, and about this particular situation, and just showing you guys some. See if I can find some footage here. Yeah, here we go. And this is kind of just where, just to show you guys where everything is. This is where the party went off. It looked like this was the way she was supposed to go out. And it appears that she potentially made the wrong turn here. Now, you guys have to understand, she was incredibly intoxicated. We don't know what time she drove her car out there. We don't have an autopsy yet. We don't know anything. We can assume it was around 12:33 because that was the time her phone went completely out. And we're probably going to find out that the timeline in the autopsy, as far as how long she's been deceased, will probably confirm right there around a 12 to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. time frame. Right. And Karen Davis also reminds me this is allegedly. There are several things that could have happened here. And one of them is she is responsible for this herself. That she was way too wasted. She made a terrible decision. She turned the wrong way. It was probably dark out there. I doubt going down this road there is one light going down. I'm sure it was dark, and probably before she either passed out behind the wheel of the car and coasted on into the water, or she drove right in, not realizing she was going the wrong way. Now, there are other possibilities here. We know that there was a car caravan that left right around 12:30. A bunch of people left. I wonder if it is possible that when she called Sammy, whatever time, if she did, I'm still a little concerned about, the time that she called her, as opposed to the time that the phone was shut completely off. But if she did speak to her at, say, 12:25, in accordance to the time, let me get the timeline back out here. So it says at 12:25, last time Sammy sees Kylie and was leaving, gave her a hug. Oh, that's right. She says at 12:36, but that could be wrong. But let's just play as if a phone call from Kylie happened. I would think it was right. That just still doesn't make sense, because I still believe the phone went off when she hit the water. But the other option was at 12:30, I got messages that there was a lot of there was some strange guys that showed up at this party at around 12:30, and I wondered if that was the reason for the mass of people leaving. And I'm wondering if Kylie just got confused, got away from the pack, and made the wrong turn out of there. But again, she could have decided to sleep in her car. Her car was unlocked, and these strange guys did some horrible stuff to her and then dumped her into this body of water. There are maybe two polar opposite possibilities here, because we just don't know. I'm a little concerned about whether or not, what kind of substances she was on. Obviously she's deceased. She didn't lose any blood. She wasn't, at least to the best of our knowledge, she wasn't butchered up or anything like that. Sorry for being graphic. But so there's no loss of blood here. Therefore, they're probably going to be able to still pull blood and get a good toxicology on Kylie. Now, the next question is, are they going to release that toxicology or the autopsy to the public? Are the parents going to want to? Because we're dealing with a minor, we're dealing with a sensitive topic, but there is going to be some way for us to identify which way law enforcement is leaning, whether or not they release the autopsy or the toxicology report on Kiely Rodni. For example, if this turns into a homicide investigation, that is a good indicator that they believe that foul play is involved. If this case is closed, then that's a good indicator that this was an accidental, overdose or drowning, or, who knows we don't know yet. So I don't want to jump to conclusions, but there are, without a doubt, definitely some serious possibilities here from her doing it to herself to somebody else doing it to her. There's also another one that's kind of in the middle, and that's a friend decided to drive and made the wrong turn and ended up getting out of the car and leaving her in it, which could have prompted that caravan out of there around 12:30. Maybe this infamous weird guys was just a ploy to turn the direction away from the kids left her after they knew her vehicle went into that water. I don't know. But it does appear to be they said 975 feet in a diagonal pace or pattern from the party to her. But there's a lot of trees there. So, and you got to remember there was music and people were probably talking really loud because they were really drunk. And they may not have heard this. They may not have heard it one way or the other, whether she did it to herself or somebody did it to her. They may not have heard it. So just a little bit more here. Again, that's the area of where the car would have went in. It's a straight drive. It's almost as if somebody went the wrong way and just kept driving in a dark road. And then boom, before they know it, they're in the water. It's too late. I remember one time when I was really young, it was dark as snot. And I ran into a wheat field. I ran into a wheat field. And I didn't know I was in the wheat field until I was in the wheat field, because it was that dark. So I veered off the road. And but let me tell you, I was not even intoxicated. I was in a completely different state, trying to get to my destination. This girl was intoxicated. Could this have happened? It definitely could. But again, there's other possibilities on the table that explain all of this. Here's a good little look from, where the party location was to the Prosser Creek Reservoir. It goes off, this is just a straight line as if you're walking through the terrain there. Obviously, it's a longer trip if you stay on the dirt road, the path there to the boat launch, a little different. But you get an idea of where they say, at least on this map, where that was. It didn't look like it was over here. It looks like it was more over here, which I think would change their direction on this. I didn't do this photo. I just grabbed it because it had the 957 feet, but I think that's inaccurate. It's more over here because we saw them pull her out, and it looks like they pulled her out over here, but I guess it could be over here. And then if it is over here, that even makes it a little more strange. So I would like to look at those videos just a little bit more to determine. And here's some information. This is a Kate from a text from Kate. She says, me too. I'm praying for you all, my love. Kate, was Kylie seeing a guy named Nate? Do you know? It's important. Yes, she was. They kind of dated for a little bit, but broke up. So if anybody has heard the name Nate come in to play, This is a recently, that it's a guy that she broke up with. This is the first time I had heard of this Nate person. So, it's just a little crazy. So I'm curious about that. Here's some more photos of where the party was and about the area that she was in. Right there. Mods, let me know if you need me to go to subscriber only, and I'm happy to. If you guys are doing good, just let me know. So there's the proximity kind of in a better visual for you. And then this is just the stuff that we saw as they're bringing in the vehicle to the embankment that they are. So again, this is where the investigation really starts. And here's something else that many people didn't notice, is that they kind of cordon off this area there. And I'm not sure if they did that to process. Sometimes they have an area where they dump stuff on so they can process just that area, or if there was actual evidence there. I am completely unsure about that. I don't know what that whole thing to set up right there was, but definitely interesting. And as many of you guys have been hearing, we've been noticing that there is damage to this vehicle. We're curious about how this damage is working, how this damage got on her car, not working, but got on her car. Give me just a second. We just made one little modification, so hopefully that stops some of it. So we have, and this is the reason why. You see how this photo here, how it's showing you that that they covered up the back window. This is where they started saying, oh, she must be in the back. But as we watched the full entire video, they didn't stop back here. They were actually pulling this entire thing forward. So was she back there? Was she not back there? I don't know. But we can clearly see damage on the door handle. We can clearly see damage with the mirror. And it appears that there is some damage up at the top of the door that we're able to see here in this photo. So it does look like there is evidence on this car that she did hit something at least prior to going into the water, in my opinion. Not sure if that is accurate, but that's just based upon what I'm seeing there, appears to be probable. So here's just some more aerial photos of the area when they were pulling her car out. So just really sad. But again, see, there's the car. It's fully covered with a tarp. And see, there's the tip. That's a kind of a defining feature right there. And so when we're looking at it, but it looks like it comes straight out from, see the ramp? I think that one photo that said 957 feet was off a little bit, because here's the boat ramp right here. And it looks like a turn happened here and went right out into the water. And I'm wondering if right here at this little V might not have been where she may have ran into some trees over here before going into the water. I'm unsure. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Hold on, let me put you on speaker. All right, go.
Oh, okay. The 957 feet is actually across where you're at right now, but it's not on the opposite side.
Okay, so they did measure. They just happened to put their pinpoint in the wrong direction.
I don't know about the measurements being correct. I just know that it's not on the correct side.
Okay, yeah, because it came right through that. I'm looking right at it right now, and you can clearly see the path.
Well, you also see that V right there. of
Yeah.
that canal that goes through it.
Yeah.
That's why I said that other picture is not correct.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
But
Thank
I'm
you.
going to send you a video, a short video, and it'll show guys how dark it really is out there
Yeah.
at the time when they pulled it out, the car out.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Perfect. All right. Bye. Yeah. So, did I miss a super chat? I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Buzz Anderson. Let me find you up here. I did. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Anissa just said she's going to send me. Oh, Anissa, and you need to let me know in the chat how you're sending that to me. I'd send it through Messenger if you have a video. Messenger is the easiest for me to pull up. But here you go. So you can clearly see the V in here, and you could just see it looks like she just did a turn and went straight into the water. And see this one? She's thinking she's turning this away. And look how long this road is. This is a long road. She would have, if she made the wrong turn, she would have never expected to be in the water this soon after she made that turn. But again, just because I think she made that turn and I think she got behind the wheel of the car doesn't make it so. There's a lot of speculation across the internet that something foul and nefarious happened to this girl. So I'm going to, I want to make sure that is addressed here, that, there are people out there that truly believe that there's something nefarious with this case. And I'm waiting to find out more information. And as soon as I do, I'll let you know, because if this does turn into a homicide investigation, the people that were speculating on this case were probably very much more accurate than we may have given them credit for. So, and that's just from Bullhorn Betty. Again, I'm not sure what you feel or how you feel, and you're entitled to feel that way. I'm just letting you know my personal feelings as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. And here, let me go back to this map here. So I'm not sure if this is accurate, because this is where she's at over here. This is where she's at. Let me see if I can blow this up just a little bit bigger. So she's over here, and they've got this over here. So if this is where the party was, it's much longer of a walk over here. And probably a lot, you're not going to hear a splash when you're at a party with music and alcohol. I just don't believe it. I don't think anybody saw her go into the water if she was behind the wheel by herself. Again, we will find out more really, really soon. Let's see if I have got anything else in here that I need to go over. Hold on a second. Let me see if I've got this. Okay, missing. Where did you send that, Anissa? Did you send that to me? And if so, where did you send it? Guys, give me just a second. Should be on live. The press conference already went live and it's already over. I think there's a sheriff's press conference at 2 p.m. today. I'm not sure if it's 2 p.m. my time or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm unsure. Okay, so this is it. All right, let me see if I can pull this.
When I started my business in 2011, I chose Wix, and it was really because the aesthetic.
And we continue to follow.
Okay. Let me add this to the. Behind him. Look how dark it is behind him. Okay, I see it.
This information yet.
I see it. So that's what she's talking about. Outside of the lights, look at how dark it is around him, outside of the lights that are shining. Now, mind you, these are quality news camera lights. I have seen them up close and personal out in front of Brian Laundrie's house. They are bright. They are bright, so bright that they have to angle them so they're not in the eyes of the reporter. And so this is no different. And you can see that right outside of the ring from the light behind him, it is complete and utter darkness. And this is what I think helped contribute to whatever happened. Now, again, there's a lot of possibilities here. there's a lot of possibilities still on the table as to what happened to Kiely Rodni. You know, I don't want to discredit any of them, because until we have an autopsy, a confirmed cause of death, just something, whether this case is closed due to an accident, something of that nature, So again, just a sad, sad story. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up to phone calls. And let me, sorry, hold on. I keep doing this. I get so flustered with all of the stuff we have here. Okay, the phones are officially open. Before we start accepting calls, make sure you go out and like this video. This is the number for call-ins to the show. And here is the, if you'd like to come up on panel, please don't be shy. Come on up. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear your thoughts. We've got 465 people in this room. I'm sure you guys all have opinions as to what you think happened to this young lady. And I'd like to hear, your opinion and why you feel that way. So please don't be, like I said, don't be shy. Come on up. Lens of Grace. She was drunk, 16-year-old girl. Doesn't matter how well she knew the area. No, it doesn't. Because let me read, since there's a lot of people in this room right now, let me read the condition that she was in. So all of you guys know this is from a source that, actually, I think this came from a post. This actually came from a post. And it says, earlier today, I met a couple whose daughter is friends with a girl that attended the party. They were all talking, and the girl said she knew Kiely there, or she saw Kiely there rather, and Kiely Rodni was extremely out of it. And Kiely Rodni could not speak and could barely walk. The girl and her parents met with LE and reported this. So that was the type of condition she was in. And I'm sorry, but no matter how well you know an area, when you're in that type of condition on back roads and your phone is dead, you can make a wrong turn, no matter how skilled you are. You're talking about somebody that was most likely not only under the influence of alcohol. We don't know yet. I don't want to be disparaging at all, but I'm just talking realistically here. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. There's a reason for Lindsay Lee. She says there's a reason Sammy continues trying to make it a point that she had contact with Kiely after she had already left. I still think that the easiest way to explain that, honestly, is her wanting to mitigate liability. And I know you follow me on here, so I'm sure you've heard me say that before. I truly believe her story was to cover her own hide for civil liability purposes and potentially criminal liability purposes. I mean, she was the organizer of this party. She knew that there was drinks out there and there was underage drinking. She knew there were substances out there and there was underage use, and she did nothing about it. She is an adult, folks. She's an adult that has admitted to drinking alcoholic beverages with a minor. I really, truly believe her statements, because if you really look at the grand scheme of her statements, I just think that they were more to show how much she was protecting Kiely. But Don B is up here. Let's get his input on it. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. What do you have? What are your thoughts and theories on this whole Kiely Rodni situation?
I just got through listening to the Adventures with Purpose, what they put out. And have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
Okay, just the tone of their language. It sounds to me like it's going to be a criminal investigation.
Okay.
I mean, just the tone of, because they said, they to me, they just seemed like they were having to be really reserved.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there are still multiple agencies involved in it. Red flag.
Yeah.
FBI.
They did indicate a few alphabet soups still involved.
Yeah. So, I would think something immediately drew their attention to that. And there's supposed to be a press conference here soon, ain't they?
Yeah, I think the sheriff is going to be doing a press conference. We may find out. They may finally identify Kylie as the person in the vehicle, and we might get a little insight on what they can release. I'm hoping that they give us something.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me grab this in case they have a question for you as well. This is Betty.
Hi, I had a question.
Sure.
I was reading the Ann Hetchy case.
Yeah.
And her party drug had been laced with fentanyl, and then when she crashed into a garage, they tried to pull her out of the car, and she hit reverse, and she slammed into a house. Could this be another case of fentanyl poisoning?
Well, to be honest with you, I just read an article that said that they just found a large amount running the streets of all places, Northern California. So it is possible that there were substances at this party. It's possible that fent was at this party as well. And it could have been at this party unbeknownst to the party goers.
So it is possible to say that fentanyl could have been a contributing factor to her death.
Anything's possible at this point. Wouldn't you agree, Don?
Yeah. Everything from she was disoriented and just ended up over there thinking she was on the right road and then went off, and it's too late to hit the brakes at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that, someone discovered her at the party.
Right.
And this recently happened here a couple of months ago with a famous person that was on American Idol as a contestant. Her name is Amy Brumfield.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Tent Girl?
No, I don't remember this case, but to fill us in.
Yeah. So in Sevier County, they found a body laying next to the road, and come to find out after they done the investigation that the person died at a party. They freaked out, took them and dumped them so that they wouldn't get in trouble for, that person dying at their party, overdosing.
Yeah, that's what we just dealt with Stephanie Shenefield right here in Manatee County.
Yeah, so that can happen. And I would really hate to think about this one, but I'm not even going to mention it just because, I will. There's always the fact, people are dealing with personal issues,
mm-hmm.
and drugs and alcohol can play a factor in how you deal with it.
Right.
Now after hearing though Adventures with Purpose and what they said, I feel like that would be low on my suspect radar at this point though.
Gotcha.
I have a follow-up question if you guys would.
Go ahead.
Okay, so how does a 16-year-old get a license and get permission to drive 50 to 80 miles down the road to go to a rave party? Aren't those permits that they give them, like you have to have an adult present to drive the car? What am I missing here?
Well, I don't know about you, Don, but I got my learner's permit at 15 and I got my actual driver's license at 16. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what California laws are as far as driving. But even if she was supposed to have an adult with her, I was out. My very first car was a $250 Chevy Chevette.
Right.
That is what my dad bought me. He's like, I'm going to buy you your first car. And I thought I was really stoked. I'm thinking, Camaro, Mustang, whatever. I got home from school one day and it's a Chevette. And I'm like, huh.
Well, the reason I asked that question was because if she just got her license, she just turned 16, she just got her license, the other contributing factor would have been no experience driving.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you could agree on, or?
Yeah, but again, depending on whether she was required to have her learner's permit at 15 or not, they have that whole year of driving with somebody. But, any young kid, 15 to, I want to say 25, 16 to 25 are not, I still worry about, on the road.
Yeah, I drove for 4 months without even a permit just to get that thing on the road. I drove that sucker around the block. I come home my dad wouldn't get home from school till 6 p.m. and I would get home at 2:30. And let me tell you that the wheels on that little Chevette was hot by the time my dad got home, but he didn't know I drove it anyway. I parked that sucker right back where it was. I
did too. Oh my gosh, you're making me laugh.
Okay, well, here's another follow-up. If the parent that gives permission for this type of, behavior, are they to be held liable?
I would think there's some liability. There's in civil cases, your burden of proof is so much lower. It's a preponderance of evidence as opposed to beyond a reasonable doubt. So you can literally be civilly sued for just about anything. So
yeah,
I think that there's liability here.
I mean, when people start coming out, if they do, and they said, X, Y, and Z was the one giving people drugs, and X, Y, Z will be probably civilly sued for wrongful death.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I'll take the rest of my questions off there. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's a weird thing about this particular case is that there is so many still we found her, but there's still so many possibilities.
Yeah.
This is Betty.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
I'm from Florida. I was just gonna comment the same thing the guy just said. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. You were gonna comment and say.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I find that they're at least, if not civilly liable, like criminally liable for having the party with an underage girl, especially with most of them being at least 18.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there has to be something there with a child, I would assume. And yeah, I just think it's wrong. No matter what happens, it was wrong for them to leave her there in that condition.
Yeah.
Knowing, I mean, as much as they said that she was messed up, all her friends said that were there, and they were sketched out from the time they got there,
mm-hmm.
and then they just leave her there. Yeah. I mean, they have to be held criminally liable for that. I would.
Well, leaving your friends not really a liability for people, but being a creator of an event that poses harmful risks to minors is a different story, in my opinion. What do you think? What was it that you had just said? You said something about. Say that statement just real quick. There was something I wanted to ask Don about.
Oh, that was the only thing. I mean, I just felt like with all the comments that the Sammy girl said, that she definitely is liable for at the very least.
But the criminal part. That's what I wanted to ask Don B about. Do you think, Don, that with law enforcement coming out and publicly stating that we're not going to charge, we're not here for underage drinking charges and stuff like that, do you think that they're going to now go back and charge some of the actors in this criminally?
Yeah, I think and we may hear about some of this. Well, I don't know. We may not hear too much in this press conference other than, they've confirmed it's, Kylie, but the very last press conference they had, they said they was going into a new phase, which I figured they would be. And I have a feeling they know who some of the kids are that have information, or some of the people. I shouldn't say kids, because it may be minors, may be a mix of minors and adults. But if they know those people have information, they're probably just giving them some time, and it's going. And I think this week, the gloves are going to come off, and I think you will probably start seeing search warrants executed, phones being taken. I wonder if Kylie's phone was in the car.
A lot of people have been asking about that. I'm very curious about that too, because if it is in the car, then we know about the time she went into that lake.
Yeah,
because that phone at 12:33, that was.
Yeah. But yeah, I think hopefully we find out which direction the investigation is going to go in today's press conference. I think it'll be, short and to the point, and they probably won't take a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Just because if it is going to be a criminal investigation now, they know it's going to be one. As we're talking,
almost has to have a criminal investigation at this point, because they did find her. She is deceased. They've got to confirm that that nothing happened to her, or that something did. They have to prove, like, even if she drove into that lake herself, they still have the duty to prove that.
Yeah. But
if
even
someone else was involved, they have the duty to prove that. They have to. This investigation.
At this point in where this case has gone, they're definitely going to have to, follow every avenue at this point.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Everything.
Yeah.
But back to the other point, I think that the people, they're going to find out who brought the alcohol. And if there was extra drugs there, they're going to find that out too. And I really feel like those people, they're in trouble no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad for her. She really didn't have friends if they left her there like that.
Well, you know what? Her friends were Jagger, Kate, and Mags. Those were the three people that weren't at that party. She thought that Sammy was her friend. Sammy was only her friend as long as she was a benefit to Sammy. As soon as she was no longer a benefit to Sammy, i.e. too drunk to drive her home, Sammy ditched her and got people that she could get a ride home with and left her there. And if she was that intoxicated, my question still comes back to why Sammy didn't take her with her.
Yeah, she's not a friend. That's
she's not a friend.
Yeah. And the other sketchy thing too is, Sammy was trying to get statements from people before these people even went to law enforcement.
Yeah.
And detectives don't like that. Yeah. Detectives want the statement given to them first, not filtered through a civilian.
Right.
Because when it comes time to prosecute, if Sammy was involved, that could hurt the prosecution, because all them statements was given to her before the police.
Yeah. It could very well hurt the prosecution. There could have been a number of things that she could have been telling people, say this. We don't know, because why? It was only kids at these things with no parents.
Yeah.
And they were conducting themselves this way. Olivia and I were talking about it, and she asked me, I said, you know what, in all honesty, if anything happened to you, that's exactly how I'd handle it. To be honest with you, I'd want to know every little detail, because I'm coming to look for you, babe.
What would you do if, what would people be thinking if, let me see, let's say, in the Summer case, okay? Mm-hmm. What if, I'm all jacked up now. What was her Sunday school teacher's name? Robin Lane.
Robin.
What would we be thinking if Robin got to Warrior's Path and said, I want people that know anything about this to meet me here and give me your statement?
Right.
Wouldn't that be sketchy?
It would be sketchy. That's why people thought it was sketch, because who did that? Tim Mullen.
Yeah.
Remember when he first came out with the Find Summer Wells website?
Yeah.
It was call tips and send leads to us.
Yeah, they always get law enforcement.
Yeah.
Not to civilian.
you believe that the law enforcement, it has a little responsibility in some of this stuff? Because, I mean, come on, they didn't find the car right there. I mean, it's so close to the party. Probably if there was 300 people there, there'd be 100 cars. They would be parked somewhere. A lot of people said they were parked in that general area down there too.
Yeah.
I mean, and they didn't think, hey, let me look right there. And the road was going to end right off of that point where the car was found, the one road.
Yeah.
And they didn't look at that. I mean, that's just shocking to me.
Yeah, they probably did, but again, Adventures with Purpose, you know, they keep coming out and saying they have a very specific skill set. They have a very expertise skill set in this area, skill set that is very rare in their own words. So we can't knock law enforcement for utilizing the tools that they have in their, you know, their ability to use. But Adventures with Purpose, the reason why they're so wildly successful is because they have a rare skill set.
Yeah, and the other thing too is
Hold on. Let Don commentate. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to call a rescue group up here, Kingsport Life Saving Group. That's where I'm from, is Kingsport, and they do a lot of recoveries. And I was going to ask them, how was it possible that AWP was able to do it and law enforcement wasn't? But I just hadn't got around to doing that yet. And maybe it's just that the equipment, because you know how budgets are with the state and local agencies. I mean, they may be using equipment that's 15 years old.
Not properly calibrated, because this stuff you've got to calibrate it every month.
Yeah.
There's a number of things.
You got Adventures with a Purpose using equipment that was, manufactured, December of last year with the latest technology.
Highest quality, highest technology, and skilled in reading the sonar.
Yeah, and
understandable. But if you don't have the equipment to do the job, then you need to get AWP there a week and a half ago, not 2 weeks later. I mean, that's great. They reached out to him, and I'm thrilled they found him. They may have better equipment, but if you're going there and just her phone ping right by the water, I mean, nearby there, I mean, that's just there's so many red flags that said she was in that water.
Yeah.
And they really should have went harder about it. I mean, granted, maybe it took 2 weeks to get them there and do this, and they try to do it the second day or something. I don't know about that, but
they were called earlier on. My understanding, I shouldn't say it as fact. It's my understanding they were called there earlier, but they were already on another case, and they had to wait to finish that before they could make their way down.
Oh, that's totally understandable. But I'm hoping they're not the only person that does this. I mean, they could have reached out, especially when the FBI and these other agencies are involved. I mean, if they don't have the same equipment or have teams that are as good as AWP, or I don't want to say their name wrong, but if they don't have teams that they should call that are like that already, that's kind of weird to me. It takes a volunteer group saying, hey, we're going to go do it, or I don't know. It just seems like they should have that equipment.
Yeah, we expect we expect instantaneous results, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're long. Sometimes they're drawn out. We should be very thankful, because to be honest with you, if Adventures with Purpose had no time for another 3 months, we wouldn't find her for another 3 months. So we should be very thankful that she's found.
No, for sure. We are. I mean, I am at least. Yeah. I mean, sucks the way how she was found, but yeah, at least there is a little bit of closure, and they can move on further with the investigation if there's any wrongdoing in it too at this point, instead of being well, we don't have nothing, we don't know nothing. But I just thought it was weird. The phone was pinged. They said that right off the bat, next to the water. It was all about next to the water. There's water right there.
But they did give us telltale information, because they kept saying, did anybody see her leave? Remember? They kept saying leave.
Yeah.
They never really said, was she there? They always seem to say, we can't find anybody that saw her leave. Remember that, Don? Did you remember hearing that a lot?
Yeah, and I'm looking at a map here, and where she went into the water, where I'm thinking she went into the water, that, I don't know if that is where they actually had the party.
No, it's not. Their party was this is the wrong map to use. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Hold on, let me go to my finder. This is kind of the wrong map to use, but it gives you an idea of where at least the party was, even though we're not it's inaccurate as far as where they picked up the is this it? Let's see if this is it. So here, this is the better. This is the better.
I just wanted to say that.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Call back again. Have a great day. So here, let me just put this up here real quick. So this is, I mean, it literally is right off the ramp, like right off the road, right into the water. That's what makes me think she just made a terrible turn. You know, we have to take into consideration she was heavily intoxicated. But
okay, you see that green, the green part that goes to the boat ramp?
Yeah.
That's not where she was found.
Actually, I think it was. Hold on, let me pull up another photo for you because it shows it right there.
She was found down below that. You know where you see where the pin is dropped?
Hold on. Hold on, callers. Give me just a second. Give me a second. Let me turn these off. I'm going to turn that off just for a second. Oops, I probably just threw people's sleep. Sorry, guys. Should have it on the other screen. Hold on. I've got a photo of the place. It's a long view. There it is, right there. I think this is it. No, it's not. Give me just a second. I got it. Where is it? Is it this one?
Because where the tow truck was is not a boat ramp. It's just a bank.
Well, but that's what they call the boat ramp on the map. There is not what you would normally see as a boat ramp, so to speak.
Yeah, that's where our green line was going to.
Yeah,
the actual physical boat ramp. See where it says launch ramp?
Yeah.
It's got a 30-foot concrete driveway going into the lake.
I don't know, because here's what I've got up here, right here. And there it is. There's where it says boat ramp, and it's just an embankment.
Yeah, that's not where they found her car.
That's not.
No. Go back to that one where you had the pin.
There.
Okay, see where the pin is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, can you see the picture down there below the pin?
Yeah. Oh, that's where it went.
That's where her car was.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. So why, I don't know why we're all so confused about that. I didn't notice that picture there. I don't know why I didn't.
So,
but I didn't.
I'm thinking if they partied over there in the campground, she drove up that purple way, came around, and somehow ended up on that side.
Well, there was definitely damage to her car. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah.
But actually, you know, it does make sense because you see that little van off the road. You know, you see right here. You see that right there.
Yeah. See, I'm wondering maybe if she thought she was going home.
Yeah.
And maybe ended, of course, either that or someone said, you know, take her on the other side and just drive it in on the other side.
Right.
Because obviously the first place they probably would search is that actual boat launch ramp.
Yeah, that's that. Now we kind of get a perspective as to why they probably didn't focus too heavily on that one area.
Yeah, that's more like a cove where she was found.
Yeah. Look at Messenger, and this says, hold on. Yes, I got it. And this is sending me the coordinates as well. So there we go. So there she is right there. And when I first brought this boat ramp up, I told people when I first got the photo, I said, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but here's what I've got. So.
Yeah. So and the water is a lot higher than what's in this satellite picture.
Right. That's what I heard too, because they said that they have more water. The water level was higher at this point in time.
Yeah. And see, I've got a lot of experience with lakes because I'm a big fisherman. Got a lot of experience with, you know, fish finders and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that she went in right there near where that tow truck was, the car nose down, and then just flipped. And that lake being the way it is, it's not a electrical generated lake. They don't use it to generate electricity. So the currents in that lake are not going to be very strong.
Right.
So her car, I'm just going to say her car probably went into the lake somewhere around near where that tow truck was.
Yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, it looked like it just kind of, I don't know if it went in there, but now that it's over here, I mean, it's still a good distance away from that party. I don't know if people would have heard it going into the water.
There's where you may run into why nobody's seen her.
Yeah.
Because everybody was on the other side.
Right. And not only that, but you got to remember they had party, they were drinking, they had music, they were talking. I mean, it was a party. Parties are not quiet.
Maybe she met somebody, they drove over there and something bad happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm also concerned because there was a window, from my understanding, that was, I don't know if Adventures with Purpose busted the window out when they were confirming she was inside, or if the window was busted out, you know, as part of this accident. You know, we do see some damage to the car.
Yeah. I don't think that AWP would bust out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was me, I would leave everything intact for forensics. So I'm thinking maybe as the car landed, or maybe it was busted before it went in. I don't think AWP would have busted.
Yeah, you make a valid point, but it also makes me wonder: is there a possibility of Miss Robin? I checked it. He's right. This is where it shows the car going in right down here by the sanctuary. I wonder if they've got everything wrong, because here's the area that they tagged as the sanctuary, and this is the area that they stated that they had the party in at the beginning. So I'm wondering if this whole map is inaccurate altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That maybe she the party here and she was supposed to turn this way, and boom, she was already in the water.
Well, if you go back down and then where it curves back over and goes to the left of the screen, all that's underwater, so she couldn't have went that way.
Gotcha.
That's where people go four-wheeling when the lake's down.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's definitely good information. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. Any final words on this whole event?
I'm just waiting for the press conference and see what we can get out of it before moving forward. You know, knowing what I know about the lakes and how they operate and stuff like that, that's just a naturally draining lake. It's not going to have any strong currents to it. The car weighs so much, it probably sank in 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So it probably didn't float too far from where it went in.
Yeah.
You know, i.e. where the tow truck was.
Yeah.
In that approximate area.
And they were talking about it flipping upside down. And I found out that as the water fills up in the vehicle, it can flip it as it's sinking.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and a lot of people were talking about the mirror being broke on the car. I mean, that could have happened when it landed.
The water and it started flipping.
Could have been done when they were dragging it.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause they did have to flip it from the roof to the wheels.
Yep.
And that could have broke the mirror.
Yeah. There's other possibilities for the damage on that car as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got a CRV. And I did have a concerning comment left on my last video.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where I'm trying to, I'm trying to reach out to this person to see how, get more information on it. But so, you notice how they covered up the back of the CRV first?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to put any rumors out there or anything, but they're from what this person left as a comment on my video, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, they think she was in the back seat, which could, maybe she went out there to fool around with a guy. Maybe the car, maybe she did fool around with a guy and woke up. Maybe, there could be a number of reasons. The other thing could be that as the car was sinking, or as she did die out there, or at least assume. Either way, when she went in the water, if she was dead before she went in the water or dead as a result of the water, at some point in time, her body would have filled up with gases and could have floated and moved around the cab of that vehicle. So there are some other even explanations for that. But
yeah,
we're all going to be speculating until we get
information
from law enforcement.
I'm just Yeah, with what I don't know if this person knows anything about the investigation.
Yeah.
But they seem to think that she was restrained in the back.
Yeah, that would be horrific. But if that's the case, this will probably turn into a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
As opposed to a criminal investigation.
Yeah. But again, it's just a comment being left, and I'm trying to reach out to this person to, how do you know?
Yeah.
Before we go.
Of course, we get trolled all the time, so it's hard to make heads or tails with what's factual and what isn't. So we just have to.
Yeah. Oh, and I've done some study on the decomposition of someone underwater, and come to find out that with the water being that cold, it's going to preserve a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to preserve, and I've said that. Yeah, it definitely does. Being in the water is, believe it or not, better than being on the ground.
Yeah. So with it, and they said the water was like in the high 60s to low 70s. So
should be pretty well.
And also being in the car probably kept it from, So I think forensics will have a lot to go on.
Yeah.
It's just I'm thinking with AWP acting the way they did in their little release of information.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound good. I'll put it that way.
Does anybody have the link to post for everybody to go to for the press conference in 13 minutes? This is going to be law enforcement press conference. Post it in the chat if you could, please. Post it in the chat if you could, please.
But yeah, if we are, I like they said in the last press conference, they're taking it to a new phase, and I think the FBI is going to be more involved in this phase, and I don't think they're going to leave it up to people to come in now. I think they're going to go get them and bring them in.
Right. Which is what they should do. Okay, we're getting updated pictures right now of everything. So give me just a second. There we go. Okay. Here, let me just put this on the screen. Here's one of them. And then here's where the party was. Right there. So it's still quite a distance. If these are accurate, again, I'm going off somebody else's work. So it's always so hard to, hold on, I didn't even realize it wasn't up. It's so hard to know if this is accurate. We've had so many pins on this map, but this is another possibility of where the party was as opposed to where the car went in. I don't know how accurate this is, but just to give people, we know it's here. That we know that her car was found here. Yeah. And, as far as this appears to be the sanctuary, but it appears that they may have had the party way up here.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then.
Yeah, nobody would have seen her go in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the sentiments. Well, yeah. Don, thanks let me go back. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming by and spending time with me. It's nice to finally meet you. And
yeah, it's good hanging out with you. So if you're in town or something, I'll try to hook up with you guys, and
absolutely.
Maybe we can all go out and eat or something.
Yeah, that sounds great. So we got the press conference. It's going to be in 13 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and power down this live and let people get over to the press conference so they can watch it. And then, yeah, I'm sure we're going to have even more to talk about after the press conference.
All right. Well, it's good hanging out with you.
Take care, Don.
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So if you guys have not gone over to Don B's channel, Don B has a great true crime channel. Please, if you haven't subbed him up, haven't watched him, go over there, check him out. He's been doing a great job on the Summer Wells case. He's been studying this case. Just a real thanks. Thanks again, Don, for swinging by and spending your valuable time here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I really do appreciate it. Very nice conversation, by the way. So everybody, please go over and let's go ahead and power this down. I love you guys. God bless each and every one of you. I hope this was beneficial to you. If you found it beneficial, by all means, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to support this channel, we have a multitude of ways. Right now, I'm trying to get down, up to Idaho to cover the Michael Vaughn case, and I am collecting funds. We're halfway there, and I will be leaving in a week. So you can donate to that on PayPal, Cashapp, or Venmo, or you can join as a member. Again, another valuable way to help support this channel. So with that, guys, God bless, and don't forget to be fearless. Take care. We'll be back soon.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.